Are we recording?
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the big, massive podcast today. With me, Roland, and I woke up this morning in great form, looking forward to doing the podcast, and you know how they fucking drain it out there, man.
Yeah. You woke up this morning and thought, you know what I'd love to do today? A podcast. Wonder what the steps I have to take to do a podcast today.
No, you were a cunt before we did the steps. So the steps are getting the place set up.
Didn't turn
Traffic.
Oh no, you put on that sheet there.
And love the difference. See if there wasn't sheet on.
See, when we were talking about moving the podcast forward, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to get a room, and we're going to set up. All I hear is all the things that I'm going to be added to my list.
Yes. What's your point?
Like, I had to go organise Mark, left the camera. Karen says to me, "We can roll on that. Go left the scare."
Did she?
He lives closer, and I said, Karen, it's very simple. If I didn't do these things, there would be no podcast.
Yeah. Aye. Let's get to the bottom. Are we trying to get to the bottom of something?
No, we got to the bottom.
No.
Just pure
Listen,
acceptance.
we appreciate all listeners. We appreciate the feedback we're getting from some of our listeners. They're really loving the podcast, and sometimes we don't know how it's going or where it's going. So
thanks.
Thank you.
They're thanks to me.
Subscribe on YouTube as well if you want to help us. If we can monetize this, we can move into a nicer place. Maybe we'll replace Niall in about a week, and then replace me then a couple of weeks after that. Then we'll have a fucking belter.
See all the times you're complaining about Emma McAweed.
I'm not complaining.
Emma McAweed not doing this and that. I just was thinking,
what did you do? What have you done? You know what I mean?
300 podcasts. No, do you know what? Got up this morning, great form, trained, great form, sat down on the sofa.
Go ahead. I just want to do, because this
Right, you're taking notes.
So Niall's complaining because he has to come here and set everything up whenever. Sometimes I'm here before you, by the way.
Never.
Wait to see what has to be
and
set
see
up.
when you get here.
Look.
See when you get here for the nights you're here before me.
That camera, 2 lights.
Do you know why I can come late? Because I was there earlier.
You come
that
late?
Day.
Your wife must be happy with that.
I can come a wee bit later because I was here earlier setting everything up.
Ooh. You know what's mad? I'll say no.
Right, we're doing a podcast.
I'll say no.
No, but
Sinkage. Anyway,
I don't post that now.
so you're bad. You're bad.
I lay down on the sofa, tired, good form, day ahead of me, and then I seen the news the Diego Jota was killed in a car crash.
Sad. Hey?
And people are probably saying, "Why do you care about a millionaire football?" It's not even that. It's more. I think everybody can identify with how fragile life is, and it can all be just
28, married last week.
3 young children.
Do you know what's mad too? I'll show you that some people are just more important. And I fell into it too. I shared it. It's tragedy, rest in peace, Jota. Jamie Carragher shared it. Rest in peace, Jota and his brother.
Aye.
There's 2 dead. Some parents lost 2, and doing so well in life, 2 footballers.
Aye, man, can you imagine their parents today?
They're your pride and joy that are really doing brilliant in life. 28 years, just married, 3
Reached
babies.
the pinnacle. Jota, one of the brothers reached the pinnacle. Like,
He won everything.
Aye.
And without injury, we always says, me and my son, Conan, always call him shite. And we only do it as a joke, because we're going, Jota's shite tonight. And then he pulls out on. Amazing. When he played, he was brilliant.
it's just not even about football. Hey, it's just about
Life.
Doesn't matter how rich he was, doesn't matter how many leagues he won, doesn't matter how many Champions Leagues he won, how much money he has in the bank, just all taken away in a fraction of a second. Just a blowout tyre.
Is that what it was?
No.
I thought it was like collision.
No, it was a tyre blowout. Like, that can happen to anybody.
What kind of car?
I don't know.
They're probably high speed. I don't know.
Probably.
You're making
probably
assumptions like that.
Probably a decent car, but man, it's a wee bit depressing how it can just all be wiped away, and not even you taking away a family member or.
It did hang over me this morning, right enough. And everywhere you look now, because I get all notifications everything in Liverpool because it's transfer season, and it's all Jota, news Jota,
and also this just before it. I'm not going into too much detail about it, but there was a tragedy in which someone had died, and I was watching a video of someone who was heartbroken, couldn't speak, couldn't get their thoughts together. The most devastating news they've ever heard. And all I could think about was then, why the fuck are you doing a TikTok?
Looking likes.
Jesus, man, nothing winds me up more. If I lost someone, the last thing I would be thinking about is doing a fucking TikTok.
We shout out to any TikTok influencer, and anybody said to me, I'll not even say it because I get it said to me everywhere I go now. Are you're the famous one on TikTok? I was doing this shit long. I was doing this shit long. But I remember when we started doing the Strabanter, people wouldn't have valued themselves. So you're talking 10 years ago today. People hated. I put out a video of my ma's 50th, and it was camcorder days before mobiles and all.
Aye.
And see, when the camera came around to people, they all fucking hid.
Aye.
That's the generation we came from. Like, where now everything that happens in your life gets recorded. Like, we used to give a stick of people, we don't need to know what you have for dinner. Now there's every influencer's selling toilet roll, doing food reviews. It's just fucking there's nothing now to...
Explain this to me, because you know a wee bit more about TikTok than I do. But I've seen some influencers someone was on the last day saying, I haven't been as active as much on TikTok now. I've moved over to TikTok Shop. What does that mean?
See, if you move over to TikTok Shop, people don't like your stuff. You're selling shit. I've been offered constantly to sell stuff on TikTok.
But are you paid by TikTok? They promote their...
Yep. There's plenty to it. Big donkeys at it. They're all at it, but he's funny. But they're all out of toilet rolls, so I would say maybe you get...
Toilet rolls. Toilet rolls seems to be the big one for TikTok.
No, because everybody uses them except for you. Everybody needs bog rolls, don't they? That's what we were talking about the Chinese. We're calling them dopey for using bidets. The Chinese man goes, if you get dirt in your arm, would you rub it on with a dry cloth?
I love a bidet.
But
I use wipes like.
That's pre-sex routine. Shine everything right. Let's do it.
No, and it's just what you said there. A dry cloth doesn't work.
Doesn't get everything. And see, boys my size, there's nooks and crannies that need to be dealt with.
And there's hairs that are quite catchy.
There's someone down there, and I ain't no man, and we're all gonna die.
Do you ever shave the old banjo?
Right on.
Aye,
no, you'd have to fucking... You would need to get one of them fucking bags, you know, the toxic bags they put the shaver in there after going up there every man. I've never went on the... Why, sure, no hair doesn't grow on the fucking... the tooth.
No, but the hairs around the tooth, like...
Oh, I don't have a hair.
Like
I have no hairs in my hair.
Like they have been through some...
I have a shame.
They've seen the worst, like...
No, man, I have like a model's house. I could model my ass.
Like a dolphin, just?
Not when you do that one there. And then put your arms around that way. Anybody trying this, anybody listening, we're putting their hands together. Now you go into the last one and then open it up. Dog's house!
Dog's house, that's right.
Looks like a dog's house.
Is that what your house looks like there?
Shame.
Did I just see
like
your...
a clean eye, more or less seen under the abyss. The boil abyss.
And do you know what? That's another thing. Like, there's a guy on YouTube who waxes his hole, and you get to see the whole thing. Cheeks spread. And because it's an instructional video, it's allowed.
Man,
look at the many videos.
There's videos people getting chopped down, getting chased around a street with a sword. Yeah. And then you put on one with Hitler's mentioned. Oh, fucking violation.
A history one.
Talking about history, what happened to the Hitlers is all McCartney says. But if you can run around with a hatchet chasing somebody and trying to kill them up, chop them up, I no bother, man.
Man, I was watching one the last day. It was like a big dam, but there's big holes in the dam that let so much water through at a time, and there's this big massive flow of water, like powerful water, and there's this young boy who pretend to put his hand on, but bone just comes straight out through the elbow. The power of the thing.
Well, there's somebody did that in the train too, stuck the head out, boom, the body came back on. Fuck.
You can see the videos, alright, but you can't talk about Hitler and World War II.
That's mad. The other thing I'll say to the TikTok influencers is be careful, because TikTok will kick you and you're back to being Johnny from the block.
Well, I got a warning for that.
what I would say is it'll be no good for your mental health if you put all your everything into TikTok, because once it's took away, what are you? You try again, get on again, build it up again, and it's like
sending faxes to people.
We had 70,000 followers in Strabanter, and it was just pulled, and it was just fuck. I should have put everything I did on all things, but we were greedy. We wanted to see how many in one place we could get likes. Instead of the way we put it, like Insta. Our stuff on Insta goes out the same as it goes out on Facebook and TikTok and all that, and does shit on Insta, but seems to do between Facebook and TikTok do great. The clips and shit, don't they?
Funny, just that we're talking about the whole digital thing. So I stopped smoking about 20 years ago. 20 a day. Tried loads of times to go cold turkey.
You were 20 a day. What you fuck?
You know when you're 18.
What'd you smoke?
Regal filters.
Oh, they're lovely. You'd nearly go back in there, wouldn't you? But the Regal filters are it's like
no, I couldn't.
It's like a rich man's butt.
I couldn't have smoked a Barclay, like the big long
mental Barclays, or the mental Barclays.
I couldn't have smoked
mental
a full
Barclay.
Fag. I couldn't have smoked a full normal fag. The wee Regals were just short.
Oh, they're perfect fags. Get back on them. Like 20's like really 10. I knew a boy who was working on a site that smoked them Barclays, but he would. That's where I found out what chain smoking is. He would light the new one with the one he's putting out, so it's ready to go out.
I work with a guy too, done the same. He lit one from them.
My aunt and uncle rate each a day. 60, sorry. 6 and 6 is 18 and 12, 120. Mathematics and boy corner. 120 fags a day. Like is it £20 a box now?
Must be.
Say £20 a box. What's that then?
Many were they smoking? 60?
Each.
£120 a day.
Each?
No.
More than that, isn't it?
Well, so they're smoking 320 boxes. Aye, 120.
120, and then people go
£60 each a day.
Aye, so 120 a day, and then you do that by 7. But they never took a day off. No way people going to fucking a week. It's not a week. It doesn't end.
No.
How much is that like?
120.
Imagine the houses you could fucking
820 quid.
Like £1,000 a week to smoke. And that's it before you even do anything else.
But man, I tried so many times to stop. I couldn't do it. And then I don't know how I came across it, but it was Alan Carr's The Easy Way to Stop Smoking.
There's one for easy way to stop eating too.
But wait here. Listen to the CD when I was driving to a thing, and I was like, the whole way is like smoke all the way through. Do not change your routine. I thought, well, sure, you can give it a go. See, as soon as that CD stopped, I never smoked again.
Fuck. Do you know how he died, Alan Carr?
Lung cancer.
Because he let people sit in the seminars and smoke.
So then I started to think about what's my new smoking, and it's probably
smoking.
Right. Spoken as well. I can't smoke.
You know spoken.
So I went on and had a wee look at them, and they have everything. Easy way to stop cocaine. Easy way to stop.
It's the same theory, isn't it? With this bee getting stuck in a flower. I read a wee bit.
Do you know what? The whole theory behind it is they tried to get you into the mindset where you don't think giving up's a bad thing. You don't feel like you're giving up anything. What I found was the easy way to give up digital addiction. Get off your fucking phone. And I'm halfway through it. So I don't know a wee summary of kind of what the book...
Are you bad on the phone? Man,
I'm not at a point where I would like...
Do you know what's wrong with me? Because I usually have something going on. See, like this week, I didn't go to the gym and I went home because we were at that park and all. Remember, it was like training. See, if I'm left on my own in the evening, I just scroll.
Aye.
And it tells your tits, and then it gets to the stage where it frustrates the fuck out of you. So I have to put it down and watch on the TV or something. But it's mad that we're now talking about TV as a break from social media.
Yes, but I find it, and he talks about it, and it was like, you have to be honest about your digital addiction. See, when it's sitting on a table, and I'm at a training or something, I do have my hand goes up to grab it.
Any lulls at all in a movie?
Aye. Any time, like, I think really you are dumbing down a bit because I think my focus has gone way down.
Attention spans are fucking...
Aye.
Like, I could... This is what I wanted to talk about before... Do you have
Go on,
stuff
I
like
want to run through it. So, the main takeaways, smartphone overuse is a real addiction. Like, and I kind of... It's not all about me too. It's about how much like Ella's on her phone now constantly as well. She's 12. Like, what's the long term effects of being on your phone all the time? And you know what? The many times I'm shouting at them because like they're dropping a cup or they're spilling stuff all over the fucking counter because they're trying to do something and watch their phone at the same time. Like they're trying to pour oranges into a glass with an iPad like that. Yeah. Pressed up against it.
Arla was squeezing out Kovla. She had to look on the phone. I was bringing her into the house. She worked back in the hospital, and the head was coming out her,
and she was on her phone.
She shouted, "Ah, my phone, my phone!" She had to run back to the car.
I got a like.
I mean, she's squeezing out a baby.
That's mad.
So that shows you the extent this goes to, and man, that's what I was going to say. So we have on your phone, you have everything. You can watch a movie.
Aye.
You can listen to any album. You can have all these shortcuts that in the 80s would have been like heaven, but there's too many.
Aye.
So I settle down to watch a series that's on Netflix on my phone. I'm pausing to go fucking scrolling again.
Aye.
You need it on the TV away from your phone.
Aye, that's what I mean. And like he does say,
short term.
The phone is a really tricky one too in terms of addiction because. Like, you can give up cocaine, you can give up smoking. You do not need them in your lives whatsoever. But he's like, you need...
Sort of like food.
But I was yes. He was like, you need... Like, you will need your phone for things. You need to contact. But the people do ring you...
Why don't you... But there's people going back to the flip phone. Phone and text. You're talking about all that, and he's just after looking at a smartphone, a smartwatch.
It's because it buzzes and somebody's ringing you.
And you have a message coming in, or...
No, my daughter's ringing me.
I remember
she's
that
on her phone.
Whenever I started working with you, every time, and I think I was bringing you through an induction of the program we were working on, and every now and again you were just doing that while I was talking to you. I was going, the cheeky bastard.
I had to say it one time. We were at a meeting, I was like, I just need to apologise. I'm not checking the time.
Aye.
I keep my phone buzzes and a pure reaction. I look down because a message comes up.
But it looks like you're bored.
Aye, but it looks like I'm checking the time all the time. I was in a conversation yesterday and I got a message and I was looking. I was like, fuck.
I don't know why you do this one, and I always do it. I never bring my phone in the gym.
Hey, well, that's another part of it. But then I like
listening to
a podcast when I'm doing.
I see.
But one of the main takeaways too is people are afraid they sit in their own thoughts. Like if you're on a train for an hour, you look up the train, everybody's on their phone because people don't know what they do when they have to sit with their thoughts for, say, an hour. Say the train's
It's mad, like when you used to go to the dentist or the doctors and all, and you seen the big queue, and like even when you went to the barbers, you're going to a barber now, there's like TVs and Wi-Fi, and you can get on your phone and just watch what you're going to watch in the house while you're waiting for your haircut. Where before you had to wait and have a conversation.
And think about things.
And think. And it's actually good because you get fucking stuff done.
Aye.
Thinking, I do a lot of thinking about stuff that I need to work on, and when I don't, I'm on the phone, it's brain dead. Aye. I feel like I'm wasting. Do you ever get that feeling you're just wasting time?
But I also feel like in work, I'm like, if I'm doing a report or something, I'll do a paragraph, scroll for a bit, I'll do an wee bit, scroll for a bit, you know what I mean? And I want to get out of that habit. So I'll just give you a kind of rundown. Carr argues that the constant screen time, scrolling, notifications, gaming... Alan Carr.
Sure, he's dead.
Aye, but it's his method.
As theories.
It's somebody else writing the book, but it's all based on his method. It's not a mere habit, but a form of behavioural addiction. He asserts that such things bring real-life benefit and often harms our well-being. The easy way mindset, drawing on the logic of his famed anti-smoking method, Carr encourages readers to understand and deconstruct the psychological tricks and brainwashing. They go into a lot of that.
Because you're getting instant satisfaction. You're satisfied a lot. Like you're constantly looking for that endorphin hit.
Aye. But it was like, it's also like addiction. You hate the fact that you're on your phone all the time, but you'll still continue to do it. Like you get a wee adrenaline rush or a rush of endorphins from checking your phone, and that quells it, and then you're like, fuck, why do I need to do that all the time?
See, when you're drinking, see if you're sitting drinking a bottle of wine or something, you'll just...
Aye. So, like, believing the phone offers us meaningful value Once you see through the illusion, detaching yourself becomes straightforward. Phones bring no real true value. One central idea that we crave isn't the phone itself, but the pleasant feeling behind its use. Distraction, avoidance, temporary dopamine hits. Recognising this emptiness is the key to breaking the cycle. Like, it's all about, what is a like day? What is seeing somebody's dinner? It's so stupid, like.
But then I says, Arla says to me, she loves watching food reviews, and Kelly says it too.
Aye.
I'm like, right. There's a boy mad fucking, he's famous now, he's rich, and what the fuck is it? Hashtag or something it's called, and he's just a dirty bastard.
Oh, hashtag?
He just eats things, picks his nose, throws it in the ground, slabbers when he's talking, and they love him.
And I could also emphasise that the modern digital experiences are deliberately designed by big tech to keep us scrolling longer. It's a David versus Goliath scenario, or willpower versus persuasive psychology. Willpower alone doesn't work. Carr stresses that the mere discipline or just trying harder is ineffective. Instead, by reframing it, how you view your phone, seeing it as a trap, you can break free mentally and not just force yourself to reduce the usage. So what he's saying is, to see willpower doesn't work because you know there's something that you want and you're trying not to want it.
Works.
It needs to be, you don't see it as losing anything.
Aye.
You know that has no value.
My brother, and there's loads of people I know that have no apps at all. They're not on any of the social medias. Nothing like that. But they're probably away YouTubing it then. They're finding something that they want to do. They're just not on the social.
Well, I like him YouTube to watch on TV. I just don't think it's as bad.
Shorts.
Not shorts.
Shorts is like, there's no difference between shorts and TikTok.
Reels, Instagram stories.
There's no difference. Some people say to me, "Nah, fuck TikTok. I'm on YouTube." I'm going to say exact fucking same thing.
100%.
No difference. And apparently Facebook now is going to take over everything with a new algorithm they've brought on, or that they're working on.
20 practical steps to regain control. The book includes a structured plan, turning off notifications, setting boundaries, prepping your environment, dealing with slip-ups. A guide sets you through preparation, quitting, and sustaining your tech-free mindset. Potential drawbacks. The tone and comparisons can feel harsh. Some readers find Carr's judgments on gaming. So it does. It's not only your phone, it's about hours and hours of gaming and how it affects your family and coming in the evening, passing the kids and the wife to go up and game for hours. And there is, I know loads of, especially young people are getting really sucked into that, staying in your room, gaming for hours.
When I watched my wins grow, obviously compared to the way we were brought up, because there was none of that, we just had to get out. But and
like it's also breaking the mindset of, you know, oh, that's my escape. All my friends are on there.
I'll tell you, I was watching a boy, he was talking about this sort of thing, and it got me thinking. So, a boy come on one time and says, "Do you not just miss?" And people romanticize about this. I just miss the 80s and 90s. It's a simpler time. I used to get up in the morning, cartoons were on, on Saturday morning, cartoons were on for 2 hours. You had to watch them, there was advertisements. And he says that there's no all these options, so you watch what was on. And I'm going, well, if you reverse anything the other way, like, so if you reverse engineer his whole thought process, you wouldn't do anything, because he could go on, you could get your living room set up like the 80s. You could get a TV, right, that only has 4 channels. You could get a computer to sort that out, that you're only going to see stuff that you have to watch, that you have to get off the sofa and cross the living room to turn the channel. Would you give up a remote control to do that?
No.
Would you give up all the options of movies and whatnot that they just watch 4 channels?
Mm-mm.
Of shit too?
No.
It was shite. Songs of praise and fucking EastEnders and news, and it was just shit.
Aye.
Light a fire, go out and get the coal.
Aye.
Instead of pressing the button. Do you know, no Wi-Fi, so you go, no information about anything. You can do that. You can get your living room looking like the 80s tomorrow.
Well, a lot of TVs don't work without the remote now. If you haven't got the remote, you can't even turn the bathroom thing on.
You could make a TV that you don't need a remote.
Oh, you can buy a TV.
And you could set it up. You get some expert to come and just go on, give me 4 channels and just play what was ever played in the 90s back then. Shit. Picture too. How long do you think you'll last?
I wouldn't last. I wouldn't do it.
Nobody would do it, but they all says, I would love to go back. So somebody says the exact same about cars. If you flipped electric car with petrol car, so if you came to somebody and says, I've a great idea, electric cars are going years, I have a brilliant idea, I've got a car here, shite for the environment, takes thousands of pistons and fucking explosions and whatnot to get a car to move. Like, I think an electric car's got 4 or 5 things to help it move.
Pistons and explosions.
Pistons and common denominators and flux capacitors and capacitations and leads. But there's they would just call you madman.
Aye.
And is it quiet? No, it's loud. But everything that you propose will be shut down because there's nothing that a motor car does better than an electric car.
Aye.
And they're even saying things like, so how do you make it go? Oh, you have to get fuel from you're going to have to go to this big station. Now imagine you were able to charge your car at the house, but there's proposing everywhere there's going to be like these big stations where you go and fill up with diesel and flammable liquid. They drive this fucking car around, do you know what I mean? That makes a lot of noise. And you wouldn't do it, so it's the same way. I always say that every Irish town now is dying away. And if you just look into it, what do you need to go downtown for now?
Food.
You don't?
Well, you know, I suppose.
What do you need to go downtown for? You have to go down.
Pints.
You don't have to. I would say probably the only places.
Social interaction.
So, but you have to go down.
Right, okay.
So say, right, my point is, in the 80s, well, before technology came in, you had to go downtown for everything. I would say the only thing now, and you don't necessarily need to, but the only real thing that you need to go downtown for probably is get a haircut. Unless you get the barber to call you.
Well, you don't. You can get by shavers and do it yourself.
But if you want a nice haircut, you're going to go to the... Yeah. But that's the only thing I really... Like, so, back in the day, you had to go shopping for your food. Mm-hmm. You had to buy your clothes downtown.
Yeah.
Your shoes.
Yeah.
You had the other thing that you might have to go to now is still like the dentist and doctors and stuff like that there. But you had to go downtown for every fucking thing that you needed. Everything. Shop, bookies, gambling,
pharmacists.
Chippies.
You still need to go for pharmacists.
Pharmacy, right? So,
well, you don't.
So, I remember whenever I got in baller back in the day, there was no hiding. You had to face up to it because everybody lived in the town. So you were down seeing everybody all the time and apologising for your fucking wankiness. You could literally... You had to go to town to work as well. You could literally live now without leaving your house.
Yeah.
Without going out the door or...
I'm sure there is people that do.
I would say there's people you haven't seen in years and they still live in the town. Like, I mean... I would say there's people that you would have seen regularly and now you think, are they in America or something? But they're in the house. Regularly.
It's a hard word to say.
But think about it. You would have seen them all the time, but what... So say they're working outside the town. Or they're working from home. And then whenever they go somewhere, it's somewhere they want to go, so it's Derry or something. They don't need to go down the town for anything.
No.
They have a bald head, so they don't get their hair cut. Do you know what I mean? But there's like... Literally, that's back... That's why the death of an Irish town is due to technology that will never get back. Because people love the handiness. If you're given an option for handier, you're taking it. And so many handy things now have led to this situation where we're not social beings anymore. We're not down, especially the Irish. We're famous for it. Filling pubs and having the crack. Pubs don't get filled anymore. 1 or 2 pubs that get filled.
Aye.
So you go downtown Strabane, it's Joe's now.
Yeah.
Where else? Joe's.
Plus, anybody that is out, you see them out, you can kind of live vicariously through someone else's, all their fucking snaps in a bar. And
you don't. The other thing too, I was on about when back in the 90s when I went to America, it felt like I left the planet because we didn't have social media, we couldn't do FaceTime, we couldn't do any of that. So my ma, I would have got a phone box and bought a card and rang home randomly a couple of times, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. Now you're FaceTiming 2 minutes. How you get on the airport? How you get on today? Daily, you can FaceTime, keep communicating.
But do you know why? Do you know why you have everything? Because there's people out there thinking about
how can I make this easier.
Why you're going down the town, and why can I start up a business that'll bring that to your door?
And it's mental, man. It's like I was watching that 1923 last night, and there was a New Yorker going up to the Cowboys. 1923 is the start of technology coming in.
Industrial revolution.
And your
type.
man was in there and hanging on, and they're like standing in his house, and your man just says, "Watch this." Turn the lights on. The cowboy's like, "What the f-" You know what I mean? And then he went over to the water and turned the tap on. The water came on. And the amount of time and energy I'd already saved them people. He says, it's an afterthought, now water. And your man just scratches its head. They'd go get barrels, bring it in, fucking buckets, you know what I mean? Boil it, make sure it's sanitized.
Yeah.
That was just like, what the fuck am I seeing here? And then the showed you parts where they're talking about refrigerators are going to be a thing of the future. Every house is going to have one. All the cowboys are all, yeah, sure, every house is going to have one of them. Fucking laziness, they were calling them. Oh, the shortcuts, you're lazy. Got a good woman here who can do all that. Washing machine, a few women are opening their eyes to that. But the technology, just running water. I think Jamie Carragher was on about that too. He says, like, look at your life. We live, like an average person now loves better than the Queen of England 100 years ago.
100%, aye.
A hot shower.
Yeah.
That would have been like two bastards having to fucking boil water.
I know, man. I've been taking cold showers, not through want, but our electric showers broke. So we're back to you have to turn on the fucking...
Immersion.
And if you forget... And like I'm training in the morning, forgetting to turn it on, landing in, have to get to work, have a small window, don't have time, so I just have to fucking...
You've landed in the work smell?
Oh, yeah.
Of gym?
No. I just take the cold one, hey, and that's a fucking nightmare. First thing in the morning, cold shower.
Top of the head. I don't want to do the dip to the like shower.
Me? I do a dip before a cold shower, no bother.
And a barrel?
Aye. And the sea.
That's different.
But hey, it's about the kids too, and like, and I don't think sitting on the sofa watching a film is the same as scrolling mindlessly, man. My kids can't go. See, if we're going to Derry, they need something. They can't sit for that 20 minutes, half an hour in the car.
And they've always known that. That's what the thing. They reckon we're on more than them because we are still going, this is fucking amazing. Shortcuts.
Yeah.
So much on that phone now that you just... You couldn't talk about what a phone does now.
No, yeah, like I have been doing the same.
Why is it even called a phone? Do you know what I mean? It's the last thing apart fucking using it. But there's nothing...
Because you don't take as many calls anymore. It's all messages.
People don't like talking.
No,
I'm at work, I'm ringing people and nobody answers phones.
No.
Email me, you can't.
But man, it's also like... What was I going to say? I've turned my apps off from 7 o'clock on, and every morning I wake up and the apps come back on and it's just reels. It's just shite.
Or you get out and there's about 40 notifications and then you're like an hour looking through everything. Jesus, if I'm left to me on the phone, like seeing a Saturday morning, I would wake up at like 9. I'd say I'm still scrolling by 11:30, 12.
You can get something on it. And that's what I'm saying.
We need instant satisfaction. Why can I not say it? Say it.
Satisfaction.
Satisfication.
I think you're trying to mix gratification.
Instant gratification or instant...
Satification. I need to spell that because that's the name of the podcast. Satification.
What's that? Californication. Strong.
So would you agree you're addicted?
Must be, yeah.
Must be or yeah.
So my day, must be. Because even in meetings, especially Zoom ones.
Aye.
You have it under the table.
You were it today.
So were you.
Because I blurred the thing.
And then you unblurred me, you wanker. I was the wee blur in the corner.
You couldn't see, and I unblurred.
I was Tony Blur.
And you were sitting just on your phone, and you didn't notice it for ages.
It looked like I was playing with Willie. Just like down. What's he at? Keeps on fucking footing.
So if anybody would also like to read the book, it's called Dumb Phone, Smart Phone.
Can we not get somebody on? Talk about it? There's a guy looking to come on and chat about sleeping. But I know what he's going to say to me. You know what I mean? I know why I'm not sleeping well.
Aye.
And the number one thing he'll say to me about my sleeping, guaranteed, is you need to get the TV out of the bedroom. But Arlo would never have that. That's her. Arlo never sits in the living room at all.
I would.
It's my living room's sort of like my domain. She works in it.
You know what I'd love to do? Come on about 6 o'clock, get the dinner, check the phone, put it up in the room, charge.
Leave it. Why don't, what happens at 7 o'clock in your day then? As it stands.
7 o'clock?
You said that your phone shuts off all apps at 7?
Aye. Just kind of sitting down to watch TV. Or I'm out with the Wayans coaching.
But that's been happening every day since so long.
I would say a couple of months now.
Well, what are you complaining about then? Is that you not sort of on top of it?
Hey, but man, it's about being in fucking social settings and still looking at my phone when there's people around me or I'm at staff training. It's just to get better focus.
And you know what you're doing too? If you stop at 7, it's probably the best time to go on from 7 to bedtime because you're being productive the next day.
Man, I'm sitting watching a film or a TV show.
No, but I'm on about, so say the next day you wake up, right, and you have to go to work.
Aye.
You go to the gym in the morning, and then you go to work, and then... So when do you look at all these notifications that you get?
No, I don't go under them. I just look and see 10 and just see that they're all reels. And just be like, fuck's sake.
What do you mean you get a notification about reels?
So I don't, like, when your app's shut down, you don't get any notifications. So when I open up and go on the messages, I have about 10 messages, and it's just all reels that mates have sent me.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
I never get anything yet. Don't know why. Mine's more notifications of people liking shit I do.
Oh, I don't get any.
So then I'm nosy when I see what somebody's wrote or shared, and you don't. You read it and it does nothing for you.
Nothing.
And then you move on. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if I did the 7 o'clock thing, right, and I wake up and there's 45 notifications on 3 different apps, my nose is not. So ever since they don't go and look, they're lying hours. I don't give a fuck who you're, unless you're Ricky Gervais or someone that's. Somebody's doing it for you, or Joe Rogan, do you know what I mean? But anybody that's in, like, trying to do whatever, like, I know the TikTok read every single thing because half of them get back to you, half of them talk back in the comments. Fucking. So they think it's a job of theirs, but
I enjoy local people that say, "Look, hey, my messages are crazy. I'm going to get back to you all," and you're thinking, "Nah, you're not. You're not getting that many messages." Like.
Okay, I see a few people too, like, finish a gig. Like, I've been doing gigs and I've really fucking doing really well. And you know you're doing well because you're getting applause breaks and stuff. You might get 1 or 2, man, that was class. You get boys that go up or girls that go up and they fucking, you know that they didn't do well. Inundated with people that were there tonight send me messages about how well I did. Yeah. And listen, if you haven't sent me any, you can send me one to tell me what you thought. More or less saying, nobody's sent me anything, but if you could send it.
I have a mate that has taken all the apps off his phone, and he has an hour in the evening where he goes on his laptop and checks them.
That sounds like a plan, you know. Because that's the way I used to be, you know. I was a year late the smartphones. I'll tell you how I noticed too. Me and Arlo used to share the laptop. Weekends, getting on Facebook and fucking Bebo and shit like that.
A lot of fights.
Fighting over the laptop.
Aye.
Then all of a sudden she didn't care. And I was saying nothing for a month or so because I didn't want her to, not realising that everything she had was quicker access on a phone, and everything's made for a phone now. Because it looks different on a laptop.
Because somebody was slagging me, mate, saying, you fucking share about 10 things. He goes, but I only have a small window. So he goes on, sees something, shares it, then sees another thing and shares it. So all his shares be in this small window. So it looks like he's gone mental every time.
Maybe another idea would be, especially if you're putting out clips and stuff, just time them at the start of the week and then they'll just come on out.
I'd see trying to grow a podcast in terms of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You do get caught up with the addiction of checking to see have you got more followers.
That's me easy. So the stuff I'm doing is trying to sell tickets, promote something, do a skit. So it's like if I wasn't even doing all that, I would reckon, and it's probably me slabbering too, but I have a wild feeling if I wasn't doing comedy and podcasts, I wouldn't have half the apps.
I think, well,
do you know what I mean? Because I'm using them for business.
And probably a lot of people are listening to this as relatable. People are on their phones.
Nah.
So, like, one of the stats in the thing was every young person gets 25,000 messages a day. You know, from videos and
then there's that fucking algorithm that hears us talking about someone and then fucking sends you it. Anything I talk about that I need sends me it. So they hear you too. It's but then when you flip it all in, there's nothing fucking was worse than sitting an hour and a half in a dentist with nothing to do. lifting the book
Aye,
and
but you
reading
could
about
do
tractors.
You could do it. You couldn't do it now.
We could probably.
Do you not think? But the goal of this is to have a happy medium.
Aye.
If you have to go to a 2-hour conference that you can sit and not look at your phone and not want to look at your phone.
But we always say, like, if you went to Bundoran or you were in a holiday in a caravan and the TV only has 6 channels and a movie comes on that night, doesn't matter what the movie is, you'll watch it.
Yeah.
And get into it.
Yeah.
Because it's the only option. Too many options for people, I think. Far too many options. Right on.
And don't stop listening to the podcast on your device.
That's not part of it. That's teaching you stuff. This is like one of the most educational podcasts in the north of Ireland. Northern Ireland, he says.
I'm reading books and everything for you. You're listening to them.
We'll read the books. We'll come in then and regurgitate
This is
versions.
This is to be continued. I will let you know.
You're going to read a book every week.
But that's an hour thing.
Get a power
Would
book.
you have the attention span to read a book?
I've read them all. They're all read, boy. No, well, man, I didn't even have the attention span to read a book when I was in university, and I had to read a book.
But I'd like that's me too now. Like, so if
I
somebody
just go to the information I need, and then.
And do you know what I done the last day? So somebody sent me a report, and I scanned it in the ChatGPT and told it to give me the top 10 highlights.
Aye.
And it just summarised them in the 10 lines.
Aye.
You don't have to read the thing.
Man, I think the human race is definitely going to dumb down because of the geniuses. Because I remember word processor, right? If you got a spelling wrong, it'd give you a wee red squiggle.
Aye.
And I was going, fuck. I remember thinking, is that going to dumb us down? Because it used to be like, my manager at work, whenever I was finishing my degree, he sent me his dissertation. And his diagrams were drew with biro on the final handing. So it was typed by a typewriter and drew with a biro. And then a new typewriter came with a wee screen and you typed your sentence, read it to see if there's any spelling mistakes. If you're happy enough, then you hit it and then went
Aye.
did it again. And we just thought this is next level. And you still made spelling mistakes because you couldn't spell. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But then when I seen the grammar check and the spelling check, I went, sure. No, how the fuck? Do you know what I mean? How do you know? So I thought that was dumbing down people. Then AI came in. That's the ultimate dumb down.
And I was listening to a thing last day about AI and how much it rips apart the world's natural resources. So there's these AI bunkers that have to be constantly fed water to cool them down. Because there's so much processing power, they need constant water. Like they're actually...
Well, loads of water.
Aye, but it can't be seawater. It has to be
Bastard.
fresh. Has to be fresh.
Seawater seems to be useless, doesn't it?
Well, not for the fish and all, like. But no, it has to be
They're
fresh.
all Noah's boat.
It has to be our fresh drinking water. Is the only water it can
Fuck
use.
off. Aye, but sure, they're on about somebody get back about that car thing. You know, you're on about fucking diesel and stuff, but they run
Pistons and explosions.
pistons, explosions, and phenomenons, floppodopolis. What is it that you have to dig for? Mobile phones rely on them too.
There's something.
Uranium or something?
Yeah, there's not uranium. That's,
Uranus.
Titanium.
Titanium.
I don't know. There's something. Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the wee kids and.
Aye. Fucking
Aye.
slavery. And then that's no good for the environment, ripping that out of the ground. We need to just go back to just fucking... Do you think it'll get to the stage where just the place will get the fucking and we're going to run around like The Last of Us or something?
28 years later. 28 Wallies later.
Everybody's on about the Wallies. Did you see them?
No, I haven't seen the Wallies yet.
Can't wait.
Have you seen the Wallies?
I haven't seen the Wallies, but ones have said, hey, did you see the
I
Wallies?
think I'm going tonight to watch... What day is it? Thursday? I'm going tonight to watch F1. Have you ever seen Days of Thunder?
Shite.
Days of Thunder?
Shite. I hate anyone with cars. Fucking no. Never was on the cars. Thank fuck too, because I probably would have been a bastard. I've mates that fucking died driving cars. You know what I mean? Because they just were motorheads. Never ever on the cars.
That ties it up nicely. We started by a car crash and we're ending by a car crash.
Mm-hmm. And this podcast a car crash. So. Hey, get on there, YouTube. And
Started at the bottom, moved along the bottom, finished at the bottom.
That's what I was saying to you. I said, we're starting to get a good fucking bit of feedback, aren't we, in the podcast? Nearly 5 years later, 5 years. 4 years and 8 months.
People are saying, hey, listen to this new podcast.
You want to hear those boys here? Sure it would be.
Right, we'll leave you on that bombshell. Bye-bye.